Good morning and Happy New Year's. It's time for a midweek moment. So, I have been reading in the book of Job, and this morning I read Job chapter 2, and there's a couple things that stuck out to me about that, and I just wanted to share that with you this morning. So, I was reading, if you're not familiar with the story of Job, his story kind of goes like this. Job is blameless and he's upright, he shuns evil, and he fears God. And he has great wealth, he has a huge family, and Satan comes before God, and God says, have you seen my servant Job? He's pretty incredible. And Satan says, well, it's easy to fear you when everything's going the right way. And so God allows Satan to intervene in Job's life, and Satan takes away everything. He takes away all of the herds, all of his livestock, and all of his children die. And then later, God says, see, Job is still blameless, he's still upright. And in fact, in chapter 2, he says, chapter 2, verse 3, it says, then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil. And he will maintain his integrity, though you incited me against him to ruin him without any reason. And Satan replies, skin for skin. A man will give all he has for his own life, but stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face. And the Lord said to Satan, very well then, he's in your hands, but you must spare his life. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and afflicted Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the top of his head. Then Job took a piece of broken pottery and scraped himself with it as he sat among the ashes. And his wife said to him, are you still holding on to your integrity? Curse God and die. And he replied, you are talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble? In all this, Job did not sin in what he said. Okay, pretty incredible story, right? Like, he has lost everything. Outside of his wife, who is being very critical. He's lost everything. And yet what God points out, yes, he's blameless and upright, but the word that struck me was that Job maintained his integrity. And then when his wife comes to him, she says, are you still holding on to your integrity? Curse God and die. And so I just thought it was a very unique word to put in there. And so I decided to look it up. So in the Hebrew, this word for integrity, it is tamah, Tummah. It means integrity, and it's listed 5 times in the Bible, this specific word for integrity. Okay, 5 times in the Bible. 4 of them are in Job. The other one is in Proverbs. So I was thinking about integrity. Well, what does integrity really mean, right? And if you look up definitions of integrity, you're going to see things like, structural integrity, being strong. There's also the idea of consistency, honesty. There's a lot of different things out there that kind of bring to mind this word of integrity. So as I got to thinking about it and reading about integrity, specifically with Job, there's a couple things that I just wanted to mention. And one of the things that I really liked that I found, someone said, integrity is the unwavering determination in the heart to do right no matter what. To do right no matter what. Okay, lots of times we think of character and integrity kind of going hand in hand, and they do, but character, having a good character, that's more about what people see. That's more about what you do, and integrity is more about who you are when no one is looking, right? So I think about the time when I went to a grocery store and I bought all my groceries, and then I got home and I realized they didn't charge me for grapes, right? So it's like $2.30 for this bunch of grapes in this bag, and they didn't charge me for it, right? And no one would have known, right? No one would have known that they didn't charge me for grapes. And some people would say, hey, that's the cashier's fault, right? Like, I didn't steal them on purpose. Like, they basically gave them to me. But they're in the pit of my stomach, right? No one would know. I would know. I would know that I didn't pay for those grapes. So I got in my car and I went to the grocery store and I went up and I paid for the grapes. And the cashier looked at me very strangely because apparently that doesn't happen very often, right? No one else would have known, but I would have. That's the difference between character and integrity, right? Character, it would have been something, if other people would have known, then maybe I would have done it, it would have been easier. And I'll tell you, it wasn't an easy decision, right? Like, I had gotten home and unpacked all my groceries and I had to make a whole nother trip to the grocery store and whatever. It would have been a lot more convenient to just let it go. But I couldn't live with myself if I had done that. Then maybe you can think of other times in your life where the same thing has happened. And maybe you didn't respond with integrity. Maybe you did. The pretty incredible thing about Job is that integrity is huge, right? So God notices his integrity, and his wife notices that it's his integrity that keeps him praising the Lord, even when everything around him has gone terrible. Even when he has lost so much, right? Consider the fact that, of losing just one loved one, but then consider the fact that he lost all of his children. And there was a lot of them. Okay, he lost his whole income, gone in one day. He lost everything. And yet, what did he hold on to? He held on to his integrity. And in fact, in Job 27, if we turn there to the third time that this word tamah is mentioned, 27 verse 5, it says this: I will never admit. And he's replying to his friends. His friends are basically saying, obviously, this is all your fault. And Job responds and says, I will never admit that you are in the right. Till I die, I will not deny my integrity. Okay, this is a huge, huge deal. Integrity. Doing right no matter what. In Proverbs 11:3, this is the only time this word tamah appears in the Bible outside of Job. And it says this: the integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. Integrity guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. Wow. I really hope that I have the integrity of the upright, right? I don't want to be destroyed by being unfaithful and duplicitous. Integrity is a big deal. And I think more and more in our culture, in our society, it's something that we want. We especially want it in our leaders. We especially want it in those who have authority over us. But sometimes I think we don't often want it for ourselves, right? When the going gets tough, we stop being faithful. We stop doing what is right, and we stop being what is right. Integrity is not just about doing the right thing. It's about having the right heart. And sometimes I think when grief strikes or when loss occurs, whether it's employment or health or a loved one or just going through a really rough time for whatever reason, I think it's a lot easier to stop doing the right thing. But then I think it's really easy to stop having the right heart. So I want to encourage you. This is a huge challenge. To me, it's a huge challenge, I hope, for you too, of just thinking about what does it mean to do the right thing in the midst of turmoil, in the midst of hardship. What does it mean to have the right heart in the midst of all of that? What does it mean to be faithful? The wonderful thing about it is that I can't create a new heart in my life by myself. I just can't, right? I can fix my character and I could, do correct things or right things, but the change of the heart, that's the work of the Holy Spirit. That's the work of Jesus living inside of me. That's his power changing my life, changing my heart, so that I can become a woman of integrity. And without Jesus, without the Spirit living in your life, I don't think it's possible. And maybe you've just gone through the motions of trying to do the right thing, but inward, your heart is nasty. It's gross. It's bitter. It's unforgiving. Well, guess what? Jesus wants to change you. Right? He wants to turn your heart of stone into a heart of flesh. He wants to breathe a new life. So maybe it's something we need to confess. God, I haven't been living a life of integrity. Would you help me? Would you change my heart so that I would? So that I would be known to others as a woman of integrity, as a person of integrity. Change my heart, God. Forgive me for being unfaithful. Forgive me for not being or living an upright life. That's where true change happens. And there's a lot of freedom and a lot of peace in knowing that it's not my job. It's not my job on my own. But I've got a God who is willing to walk the trenches with me and do the hard work, to give me a heart of integrity, a heart that says, I will do right no matter what, no matter who's looking, because I know. All right, so that is our midweek moment. Hopefully it was an encouragement to you. I hope you guys have a good week. I miss you who are not in church, but I understand. I hope you are well, and we are praying for you. We'll talk to you later. Bye.